over 200 plus years, no one has read the Constitution the way that the Republican National Committee wanted to read it here. And what they wanted to do was gut our system of checks and balances and empower state legislatures to do whatever they wanted in federal elections. And, you know, as I suggested at the oral argument to the court, I can't think of something more un-American than that.
Yeah, turn up the volume for that. That was our friend Neil Katyal arguing that case before the Supreme Court back in December. And today the court ruled that the so-called independent state legislature theory has no place in federal elections. So let's break it down with Lydia Wheeler, senior reporter for Bloomberg Law. Lydia, can you explain specifically what was at stake in this ruling?
Right. So today, the Republican or the state Supreme or the United States Supreme Court, I should say, rejected a Republican effort to keep state Supreme Courts from being able to review federal rules that are set for elections and also congressional voting maps adopted by state legislatures. And in doing so, the court in a 6-3 decision really rejected a legal theory that Republicans had advanced that many Democrats and progressives really said was extreme. You mentioned at the top of the segment that it's called the independent state legislature theory. And really, it's this idea that the election clause of the U.S. Constitution gives state legislatures the sole authority to set rules for federal elections and also draw congressional voting maps, and that only Congress can basically overrule them.
How will this impact upcoming elections?
So people were really worried here that if the court had gone the other way, that this would really influence the 2024 election. But what the court said here is that, no, the elections clause of the United States Constitution doesn't insulate the state legislatures from, this type of ordinary judicial review. So it's not going to have the broad implications that I think a lot of Democrats and progressives really worried about.
Okay, there's still 7 outstanding cases this term, and they got some major issues in there. You got affirmative action, student debt cancellation, LGBTQ discrimination protections. What are you watching?
That's right. So as you mentioned, we have 7 cases left, but I will tell you that the affirmative action decisions, those are 2 challenges, as well as the student loan debt cancellation challenges. Those are also 2 cases. So we're really waiting for the court's decision in both of those. In affirmative action, the court is heard challenges to the use of race in college admission decisions, both at the University of North Carolina and at Harvard College. What's interesting here is that the court seemed ready at arguments, earlier this term to do away with this practice. Several of the justices had suggested that this use of race in college admission decisions had run its course. But proponents of this practice say that it's really going to hurt the ability of institutions to make sure that they have diverse student bodies. We're also waiting for.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, you.
We're also waiting for the court's decision here in the student loan cases. These are 2 challenges to President Biden's plan to cancel student loan debt for some 40 million Americans. It seemed like at oral arguments that there was a majority of the justices that thought, President Biden didn't have the ability to wipe away, this student loan debt without express authority from Congress. So we'll wait to see what the court decides there. But I do think that President Biden does have a small path to victory here. It's not clear that either challengers in either case really had demonstrated that they had the proper injury to even bring their lawsuit in court.
So let's talk about polling, because recent polling shows the Supreme Court has its lowest approval rating ever, 31%. Now, if these justices were elected officials, they'd focus on polls. They worry about polls. But do any of them actually care? They're not losing their jobs anytime soon or ever.
Right. As you said, that these are lifetime appointments to the federal bench. This one justice that seems to be the most vocal so far is Chief Justice John Roberts. Also, members of the court's liberal wing, they're concerned about the public's perception of the court. But so far, especially this term, this is a court that has been plagued by ethics issues, kind of a never-ending wave of ethics issues, both involving Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Samuel Alito.
They're so upset about it, they might just decide to take a vacation on a billionaire's private plane in a luxury hotel somewhere that a big donor is paying for. Who knows? Lydia Wheeler, thank you so much for being here. We will definitely speak to you again soon. 7 major cases still coming up.